Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you and appreciate my subscribers and those who have been commenting. I can really see you guys are really doing your best, contributing your own part by watching the content and commenting. It is good this way so that they will know that we are serious. Now, this is disbursement. We commence again. We don't really know what is making it disbursement not to be. What to make what we don't really know what is making this UAG not to disburse this grant, and we pray that they release this money so that we can use it for a different project. I want you guys to listen to this audio and let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Information is key. That is the reason why you need to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my posts. Appreciate you guys and thank you for joining me once again. Welcome to the update. Bye for now.
Let's start with the recent attacks and counter-attacks in the social media. The past 2 weeks was quite promising, and it was like disbursement is taking place immediately after the workers' holiday. And the next succeeding weeks was overtaken by voice note attacks and counter-attacks by the names, the timbers and calibers of facilitators, agitators, civic rights activists in the ecosystem. The likes of Madam Jennifer Isaac, OCG, the official spokesperson of the UAAG, Ostas Dawood, Admin Ellis, and big wigs in the ecosystem that we don't expect them to come to the public and criticize, blackmail, or smear their character and integrity publicly. As adults, we expect these people to exhibit all degree of maturity in all their dealings and interactions with each other, but the reverse was the case. In the case of Madam Jennifer Isaac coming in on the social media to reveal certain truths delaying disbursement, the masses all clap for Jennifer Isaac to come in and reveal this truth, unknowingly to the masses that most of this truth may either hinder or have nothing to do with disbursement in entirety. In essence, whether the truth is known by the public or not, it has nothing to do with disbursement of the UAAG grant. And these agitations, this chaos that is experienced on the WhatsApps and Telegram groups all begins and ends on the WhatsApps and Telegram groups, not at the mainstream where this grant is projected or facilitated by key figures that are pioneering the disbursement of this grant. You might have noticed most of these names that are attacking each other on the voice note are not actually the forefront facilitators of this grant. I'm talking about the likes of our Personal Ambassador Ken Wakama, Comrade Abdul of AGPGN, Pastor John Omolowo, and the likes. These are key names that we expect them to speak in the ecosystem. And for us, the masses, as long as these three key figures have not spoken in the ecosystem, then nothing is affecting disbursement whatsoever. All what we are seeing in these voice notes, these attacks, are all either projecting arrogance, pride, and self-defense in entirety. In this same ecosystem, the subscription of UAAG grants by the masses are all activities that were influenced by the AGPGN and the UAAG key representatives. And one thing that we need to know, the AGPGN and the UAAG need to realize at this moment is that they are like either sides of the coin, complementary to each other. One cannot do without the other. They have so many realities that have so connected them together that they can't disburse this grant without working together as a conjoint whole. Therefore, at the moment where we started seeing that there is AGPGN grant to be disbursed and UAAG grant will be disbursed separately, That marks the beginning of disunity, segregation, and chaos towards the disbursement of this grant. There is no such thing like AGPGN grant. So many of you have asked me on this channel that which grant is going to be disbursed. Is it the AGPGN grant? Is it the AGPGN grant or the UAAG grant? There is no such grant like the AGPGN grant or the UAAG grant. Remember, the All Grant Pressure Group or the UAAG representative have not gone outside the shores of this country to bring grant to the masses. Never a time have Apostle Ambassador Ken or Comrade Abdul intimated the masses that they are going outside the shores of Nigeria to attract grants to be disbursed to Nigerians. Therefore, the concept of tagging it AGPGN grant is going to be disbursed to the masses is purely misleading, and these are the hypers that has caused confusion and segregation amongst warring groups in the ecosystem. These are the same hypers that have created disunity and hatred among certain factions in the All Grant Pressure Group or the UAAG. And there's one key message I have to pass to the UAAG country director. Those people that are sending messages to the masses, either promoting or trying to support the activities of the UAAG over AGPGN, are simply causing more delay towards the disbursement of this grant. So Apostle Ambassador Ken have to call all these people that are doing social media promotion to him, starting from the Joyce Lovely team, the Osim, and every other persons that are writing or speaking to support UAAG, Madam Jennifer, all other people in the UAAG, every factors or names that are speaking to discredit the AGPGN supporting UAAG should desist forthwith if disbursement must take place. The more Apostle Ken allow these people to speak negatively against the All Grant Pressure Group, the more face-off and disunity continue to exist among these two key frontiers of this disbursement. Same thing goes to the All Grant Pressure Group members. They have to call all their social media promoters or supporters to order. At the moment, we expect abject quietness and silence in the ecosystem. If the All Grant Pressure Group stop their members from discrediting or criticizing the UAAG representative, there will be peace and stability towards disbursement. So, Apostle Ambassador Ken should suspend every social media promotion of his grants. Same thing with AGPGN. Suspend everyone speaking in supportive of the AGPGN. Ostas Dawood mentioned names of those people that are standing or defending AGPGN in the masses. One of his voice notes recently that he said the likes of Iron Lady, Livingstone, Adazion. He mentioned names that are not speaking to defend AGPGN. Please, at the moment, there's no such thing as speaking to defend AGPGN. The only thing I see is speaking to promote hatred, disunity, and segregation in the ecosystem. If you are expecting people to speak and defend your faction, your pressure group, then there is purely an interest of the pressure group, not the interest of the masses. This movement expects to see people that are speaking to defend the interest of the masses towards disbursements taking place. The more people that speak to support UAAG, the more people that speak to support AGPGN, the more delay we will experience in the ecosystem. The masses should know this. So there's no sense in coming to tell the masses that the UAAG have no grants to disburse. There's no sense in coming to tell the masses that this grant is going to be disbursed by the All Grant Pressure Group. The question remains, did these two people travel outside the shores of Nigeria to attract grants to be disbursed to Nigerians? If the answer is no, so why are you tagging it the UAAG grant or the All Grant Pressure Group grant? Please Please note, the grant we are expecting, for those that keep asking if it is the All Grants Pressure Group grant or the UAAG grant, this is UAA's grant, United African States grant, that was attracted by Professor Abraham Brahimi to this country scores of years ago, of blessed memory. May his soul rest in peace. And you are aware of the story. Madam Beatrice Oduduwa once approached Abraham Brahimi to help her with a fraction of the grant he attracted to help consolidate the losses of a certain audience of subscribers of her grant at the moment, which failed conspicuously. In love to mankind, Professor Brahimi appropriated a certain percentage of his grant to Madam Beatrice Oduduwa, but unfortunately, since Beatrice did not have an NGO to propagate and disburse that grant, she turned to Apostle Ambassador Ken to use Sanctuary Wealth NGO, which Apostle Ken did. And that is the link or connection that is linking Apostle Ambassador Ken to this grant in question. So in such scenario, we won't tack it the All Grants Pressure Group grant. We won't tack it the UAAG grant. It is a grant for the masses. So in this case, whatsoever name should be used in dispersing this grant should not be a matter of concern to anyone. We are not acting here to attract glory to ourselves or our groups. We are not fighting to disburse this grant so we take the glory. I believe by now all of us have finally put an end to the former illusion that the government is giving grants to be disbursed to the masses. You are finally aware that government cannot give a non-governmental group billions of naira to be disbursed to the masses and take glory. Governments are using grants and empowerment scheme or palliative to score political points and earn themselves another tenure to office. So there's no way government will churn out huge billions of naira to a non-governmental group to disburse for themselves. Therefore, the grant is purely non-governmental. But what is of utmost concern at the moment is the consistent interference of this government to this grant. You keep hearing government authorities are saying this, government committees are reducing the entitlement from 3 million to 1.5 to 300,000 naira. The questions we should be asking is, why should the government committee or authorities be influencing or regulating the activities of a non-governmental group? That is the factor at the moment we are all striving to connect the realities. Why is the government authorities interfering or regulating the disbursement of this specific grant, whereas government influence is not extended to the activities of non-governmental activities in grant disbursement? The answer is, those that facilitated this grant are no more alive. The first and second signatories of those documents are no more here. So if a certain group who are not direct signatories to this disbursement are emerging, and most of these people don't have documents that links them to this grant, you might have heard questions like, what is the name of this grant? Nobody knows. How much is this grant? Nobody provides the answer. Who is the donor of the grant? Nobody provides the answer. So if some people have emerged, this is where the All Grants Pressure Group representatives and the UAAG representative comes into play. The All Grants Pressure Group has gone far and wide to attract figures that help them to facilitate or discover these documents and profile them to disburse this grant. Therefore, in such case where the original owners of this grant are not there, the activities of these people profile to disburse this grant. I'm referring to this because you might have heard Ustaz Dawood saying scores of weeks ago that anybody can be profiled to disburse this grant. So if someone has eventually been profiled to disburse the grant, then the activities of this individual is regulated, because this individual is not a direct authority that went outside the shores of this country to attract this grant to disburse to the masses. He is not like the likes of Otedola or the T.Y. Danjuma, who uses his foundation and approach donors to attract grants and disburse to his own subscribers in his NGO. So these people are only merely profiled to disburse a grant they did not attract. As such, the government authorities comes into play to regulate their activities. Someone again asks, who are these government authorities? Don't they have names? Government authorities are simply the NFIU and the humanitarian agency. NFIU means Nigerian Financial and Intelligence Unit. Then the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. There are other institutions that are saddled with the responsibility of regulating the activities of disbursement of grants. Grant is a non-humanitarian activity. Therefore, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs have to regulate the activity of these people that are being profiled to disburse the grant. There are other agencies connected to this apart from the NFIU and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, like the CBN and the Bureau of Statistics. There is a certain time where these ministries look critically into the figures to be disbursed to the masses, and those are the factors that created delay. If this grant was to be attracted by the AGPGN or the UAAG themselves to the masses, it should have long been done with scores of months ago. So the consistent interference or regulation of the activities of this disbursement by the authorities, the government authorities, the NFIU, the Bureau of Statistics, the CBN, and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs are the core reason why we experience delay in this disbursement. When are we expecting disbursement? So in this case, the question should be, have the NFIU or the Humanitarian Affairs or the CBN representative, all forming these authorities, have they concluded their regulatory activities or functions on this grant? Hence, we know when to expect disbursement. Yes, it's true that the president has consented or ordered for grants to be disbursed to the masses. All existing grants should be disbursed. We are celebrating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for these gestures, humanitarian gestures. But what about the administrative aspect of this grant? Has this agency given their own approval? Because the president giving an executive order doesn't have to interfere with the administrative protocol taking place duly. Remember, few weeks ago we were told it is happening on Thursday, or the money is dropping into those accounts where Apostle Ambassador Ken is signatory to, Abdul is signatory to, and Pastor John is signatory to. Even the day that the All Grants Pressure Group held a telegram meeting assuring the masses that it is going to take place in the new month, which is May, that we are already spanning middle of May. We were expecting it to take place in the first 2 weeks of May, but there are these regulations that are still taking place despite the presidential approval for the money to be disbursed. And this is the areas the masses have to look logically into to ascertain when disbursement is going to take place. First of all, when will the All Grants Pressure Group representative and the UAAG going to stop their face-off? As long as there exists a face-off between the All Grants Pressure Group and the UAAG, there will continuously remain a delay towards disbursement. So if we are to see disbursement next week, as they are promoting in the social media space, if we are to see disbursement next week, then these people, these same factions, must reconcile with each other. Currently, whether they accept that they are existing in peace or not, from the current outflow of voice note attacks and counter attacks, there is a face-off and crisis existing between these two key frontiers of the grant we are expecting. The elders, the masses have to campaign for these two people to reconcile and at least hold a joint meeting together to prove their reconciliation. It is after this reconciliation that there will be disbursement. All what is going on at the moment is promoting groups' interest. I am the one that facilitates this. You were not achieving this until I brought in this. I am the one that documents polls. I'm here. These are all factors that continuously delay disbursement. The masses acknowledge that without the all grants pressure group, disbursement will not take place. The masses acknowledge that without the UAAG, disbursement will not take place. All these factors are working for the masses. So whatever effort any of these people might have inflicted towards this disbursement is not a factor of concern. If they have achieved all these feats without disbursement taking place, then all those effort and struggle of the UAAG and the all grants pressure group is in vain. Of what use will be the effort if there is continuous delay, if members of the masses are dying by the day, if members of the masses are constantly being evicted of their houses by their landlords? Of what use is the effort if females who are subscribers of this disbursement are raped in the uncompleted buildings they are forced to occupy because they can't afford their house rent? These are all factors that the UAAG and the AGPGN should put into consideration, hence disbursement can take place in the shortest time possible. It is true the president has granted approval for disbursement, but these people, in case if they invite them today to come and take checks and go sign to disburse this grant, with the current rift existing between them, will they approach this committee and agree for disbursement to take place? If they have to be invited today to come and present their data for disbursement, with the current rift existing between the two frontiers, will they agree to harmonize their data for disbursement to take place? AGPGN and the UAAG should reconcile, hence disbursement can commence immediately. You have heard that the data of the AGPGN and the UAAG are currently being harmonized for disbursement to take place. There need to be peace before harmonization can take place. If the AGPGN doesn't agree to sit with the UAAG to streamline their data, disbursement will still be delayed. These are all critical truth. Nobody will tell you. This is what I expect the likes of Madam Jennifer Isaac and the OCG or the likes of Ostas Dawood to promote reconciliation, promote unity, promote harmonization of data for disbursement to take place. The government committee or the government authority can call on you, the grant promoters, to appear. But will you be able to sit in peace with each other for that activity to realize? Someone asked, is there grant to be disbursed? The answer is yes. It is confirmed by the governmental authorities that there is a grant to be disbursed, and the government have actually come fully into regulating the activities of this disbursement, and it is already in the final stage. The final stage that we expect is by next week, these authorities can call on these grant frontiers to come and take the check for disbursements to take place. That is the stage we are now. So continue to encourage and strengthen your faith. Disbursement remains a reality despite the chaos, despite the conflict, despite the disunity that is taking place. God's will is for Nigerians to be emancipated at this moment through this grant, and no human selfish interest, no human expectation, no human activity can suspend this God divine plan for the masses. So don't stress yourself in listening to those voice notes. There is always time for everything. This voice note is paving way for disbursement to take place. There is good news for all of us. In the shortest time possible, all the crises, all the stress, all the struggles and hardship will be no more. God is going to do it for all of us in the ecosystem. Continue to be prayerful. Let God touch the hearts of men. Men who did not go outside to attract grants, but staying here to struggle over self-glory, self-gratification, self-appreciation. May God not allow the interest of self to stand first. Rather, may God instill in them the need to put the interest of the masses ahead of all other interests. At this moment, grant is going to be disbursed. Believe it. We can't be coming out here if there is no grant. But pray for selfish interest, for greed, for pride and arrogance to disappear. Madam Jennifer Isaac should not be coming anymore to tell much truth. This truth exists only in social media to cause hypertension, confusion, and hopelessness. Until this truth is channeled through legal proceedings to government authorities, that is where it can be acted upon. As long as there is no NBA seal in a petition submitted in the public space, or there is no publication in the newspaper of people delaying disbursement, such is merely distraction. Such truth revealed by anybody cannot count towards disbursement. So I'm again telling you, the masses, that all these voice notes, all this truth being revealed currently have nothing to do with disbursement. The main figures that are facilitating disbursement are not talking, because this stage they are doesn't demand talking by any of them. This stage is purely administrative. It doesn't need update. It needs the fulfillment of this final activity and money dropping in the account for disbursement to take place. Take it from me, disbursement is going to take place to the benefit of all. Promote peace and unity. Promote harmonization of everyone's interest, of everyone's data. Nobody needs to be left aside. Everyone needs to participate in this grant. Nobody should be excluded from this God's plan for the masses. Everyone deserves it. So promote all arrangements that will ensure disbursement take place. May next week holds the long, wildly anticipated disbursement to the ecosystem. Before I go, there were certain NGOs who were cleared in the ecosystem before, who are currently having the status of not cleared. Check your app if you are an NGO and confirm that your status remains cleared for disbursement. If it is not cleared, then call the appropriate authority in the UAAG ICT for your status to be reviewed. This is very important. That status must remain cleared. Hence, you will receive the alert. Check this if you are an NGO. Subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell. Hence, when we bring the next update, you will be immediately notified. Thank you for having me on Omjulebia TV today. I remain the CEO of this channel.